Greetings, this is Frosty Thundertrod, Telnor Beastmaster of the Thunder Guard. With just 2 weeks and a couple days left to Alpha 2, I'm taking a look at the Ranger skill list since going to be playing a Ranger in the Alpha 2, but I'm going to be doing a Ranger completely the wrong way. I'm going to have two weapons, probably a mace and shield, and then I'm also going to have a ranged magical weapon like a book or a wand. Instead of using bows like, obviously the ranger's kind of queued too. So let's go through the ability list and see how this might work. Alright, first one is Weapon Mastery Bows. Reduces the cooldown of barrage and scatter shot by 3 seconds upon hitting an enemy with a weapon combo finisher. Okay, might work. Barrage. Fires a continual barrage of arrows at your targets for 1.5 seconds, dealing 15% physical damage per arrow. Triggers ammo immune effects once per target hit. Each hit against bleeding targets reduces the cooldown of this ability by zero point 0.1 seconds. Double this bonus against hemorrhaging targets. Here it's referring to physical damage. I don't know what's going to happen if I'm doing magical damage, such as with a wand. And I also don't know what's going to happen if I'm hitting something with a club. But I'm going to assume that at least with mace, barrage won't work. Maybe it'll work with the wand or spellbook. Camouflage. Become harder to see and can't be directly targeted. The further you are from the enemy, the more difficult you are to spot. Any outgoing combat actions cancel this effect, as well as incoming damage or other negative effects. Okay, this one should work no matter what weapon you're using. Thorns. Envelop target ally with thorns, dealing damage equal to 1/3 the ranger level and 10% chance to apply bleeding to attackers. Each time the ally is struck, can be maintained one ally at a time. Can't be applied to targets already affected by thorns. Okay. Once again, this one is kind of independent of weapons, so this one will probably work. So I got two kind of utility skills. Strider increases ground movement speed by 10%. Okay, so I think this is actually passive. So I got three that I can use. Regeneration grants 10 regeneration rating per ranger level to a target ally. Can be maintained on one ally at a time. If your target already has your regeneration, activating regeneration again will toggle it off. Okay, so yeah, I can use this one too, so that's 4. So, I'm actually not thinking this would be totally unreasonable as a melee. Because you can close with Strider, your Thorns will do damage back, and regeneration will give you a little bit of durability. Because if you're regenerating in combat, that's good. Fires a spread of projectiles, dealing 125% physical damage to every enemy target in a cone in front of the caster. Triggers ammo immune effects once per target. Okay, so this one probably won't work with the mace, and may or may not work with a spellbook or wand. Multi scattershot. Scattershot has an additional charge. I'm guessing this is a passive. Concentrated Scattershot. Scattershot becomes a held ability after being fully charged. You instead fire a single projectile in the forward line that pierces through enemies, dealing 125% physical damage. So, this one definitely won't work with the mace. Might work with a wand or spellbook. Reinvigorating Disengage. When you hit one or more enemies with Disengage, its cooldown is refreshed and can be used again. This can only occur once per cooldown period. Okay, so I'm guessing this is a a passive modification to the next skill on the list, Disengage. Quickly strike enemies in front of you while backflipping in the opposite directions. Targets hit by the strike will take 10% physical damage and acquire one stack of snared for 10 seconds. Targets hit that are weakened are knocked back. Okay, I think this one will work with a melee weapon, so that would mean the reinvigorating disengage will probably work with a melee weapon too. Omnidirectional disengage. Disengage now moves you in the direction of your input instead of always backwards. Okay. Yep, once again, this one should work. Refreshing headshot. Headshot refunds 4 seconds of its cooldown when it hits a marked target. Yeah, well, this is a modification, so let's go to the headshot. Deal 200 physical damage to target enemy. Deal 25% more damage to targets below 50% of the maximum health, and applies 1 stack of wounded for each 25% of missing health on the target. Alright, this one here doesn't refer to ranged attack or arrows or anything like that, so I think this one will work with melee weapons. Mortal Headshot. Headshot deals another 50% more damage to targets below 50% of their maximum health. Okay. So I'm thinking Headshot will work with a melee weapon. So, I think I've already got something here to work with. Let's see. Hunt of the Bear. Toggled activity. Call forth the spirit of a bear, imbuing yourself with increased physical mitigation. Only one hunt may be active at a time. Alright, yep, so this one here is regardless of weapon and seems to be well suited for somebody that's going to be up in the front lines, with a melee weapon. Imbued ammo. Weighted. Toggled ability. Imbues your ammunition with weight. Enemies hit by your basic attack finishers, barrage, or scattershot become snared. So by the description of this, it probably won't work on a melee weapon, but should work on a book or a wand, since it doesn't have any reference to physical damage. Hunt of the Tiger. Toggled ability. Call forth the spirit of a tiger, imbuing yourself with 10% increased critical damage. Only one hunt may be active at a time. Okay, so yep, this one should work just fine with melee or with magic weapons. Hunt of the Raven. Toggled ability. Call forth the spirit of Raven, imbuing yourself with increased physical penetration. Only one hunt may be active at a time. Alright, this could probably be used with a melee weapon, but not with a magic weapon. So this probably won't work with a wand or a book, but will work with a mace or a sword. Alright. Snipe. Deal 400% physical damage. Apply shaken to target enemy. If the target is bleeding, 1 stack is consumed, and that target becomes hemorrhaging. I'm guessing hemorrhaging is a bigger bleed. It doesn't say anything about arrows or range, or while snipe would indicate that it's a ranged attack, there's actually nothing in the description about ranged attack, so I think this will work with a melee. Hasten Snipe gains 20% increased attack speed for 5 seconds after casting Snipe. Okay, that's a nice little bonus to Snipe. Heart-Seeking Snipe. Snipe has a 30% increased chance to critically hit against enemies beyond 20 meters. Okay, well this one here definitely has to be a ranged ability, since it has a minimum distance to it. Alright. Bear Trap. Spawn a trap at a target location, after which arms after 1 second when an enemy they spilled enemy ANEMEY. So there's a typo there. That was kind of messing me up. Take 50% physical damage and become rooted. Okay. This should work with either ranged or melee. and should work with magic range too. Bear Trap now has 3 charges, but the cooldown is increased by 15 seconds. Okay. I don't know. Well, you could probably drag an NPC into the Bear Trap multiple times. That could be interesting. Uh, Drop a Bear Trap. You know, do your melee rotation. Do a disengage. Make the enemy run through the Bear Trap again. You can pull that 3 times if the enemy manages to live that long. Bear Trap, Trap Slinger. Bear Trap becomes a thrown projectile and arms itself instantly upon landing. Deals double damage when triggered. Okay. This should be weapon independent. So it should work with a melee weapon or a magic ranged weapon. Alright, Thundering Shot. Fire a lightning-infused projectile at the enemy, dealing 200% physical damage and applying 10 stacks of shock to the target. If the primary target is dazed, the effect is consumed and the target becomes silenced. Alright, so a projectile, so this probably can't be done with a melee weapon. 200% physical damage, so that might or might not be able to be done with a magical ranged weapon. Explosive Thundering Shot. The arrow transforms into an explosive shot that deals 25% more damage and also hits enemies in an area around the target, but the number of stacks of shock applied to the target hit is reduced to 5. Kind of a trade-off there, I would think. Lightning Reload. Grants a charge of lightning reload, allowing you to fire 1 ability shot for free, ignoring its cooldown and other costs. This, I don't know. That might work with a ranged magic weapon, but probably not with a melee weapon. Alright. Oh, looks like I skipped some here. I think I left off on this side at... Yeah. Yeah, I left off at Hunt of the Raven in this column. Immune ammo barbed. Toggle ability imbues your ammunition with barbed thorns. Enemies hit by your basic attack finishers, barrage, or scatter shot become bleeding. This probably won't work with a melee weapon, but should work with a magic ranged weapon. Mark of the Tiger marks the target, increasing critical chance versus the target by 25%. Should work with any weapon, really. Expeditious, expeditious. There we go. Barrage reduces barrage movement penalty while channeled. That was kind of a odd location for this ability because that should be up over here with barrage. All right. Lightning Reload Vine Field. Summon a Vine Field at target location. The targets in the area take 100%, 125% physical damage and become rooted. Each target can only be hit once per instance. For each target hit by the initial tick that is bleeding, 1 stack is consumed and the target becomes hemorrhaging. So, yep, this one should be weapon independent. So, a snaring vine field. Enemies acquire 1 stack of snared per second while within the vine field area of effect. Okay. That's a change to vine field. Should be alright. Mark of the Raven. Marks the target, triggering up to 33% physical damage every time the target is hit, scaling based on the target's missing health percentage. This should work with melee weapons too. I think it might work with magic weapons because it's not saying that. has to be physical damage, but that this ability does physical damage, so it might work with. I guess I'll just have to test it and find out, but it might work with a magic ranged weapon. Marks the target, reducing their mitigation by 25%. Okay, this will work with any weapon. Raining Death. Fire 2 consecutive volleys of arrows in a wide area in front of you, dealing 100% physical damage and applying 1 stack of wounded to enemies with each hit. So this will have to be a ranged attack. Might or might not work with magic ranged. Immune Animal, Concussive. Toggled ability. Imbues your ammunition with concussive force. Enemies hit by your basic attack finishers, barrage, or scattershot have a 50% chance to become dazed. This should work with ranged magic. Party Stride applies Strider to all group members within 30 meters. Strider increases ground movement of the target by 10%. Okay, yep, this should work no matter what weapon you got. Airstrike. Leap a great distance forward into the air while firing 3 projectiles in a line along the ground, each doing 150% physical damage to targets hit. Targets hit are snared, have become rooted. All snared stacks on those targets are consumed. Okay, so might or might not work with ranged magic, but won't work with melee. Call of the Wild. Remove all snared and shield statuses from the caster. Increases movement speed by 20% while becoming immune to all movement and parrying effects for 8 seconds. Should work no matter what weapon you got, so yeah. Unyielding Call of the Wild. Call of the Wild breaks all disabling effects on the caster. Alright, so this is all the ranger abilities. And like I said, I'm planning on playing the ranger the wrong way. And looking at this, I think I'm going to have some options to be a mostly melee build, because I'm still going to have the skills for my weapons too, not just, my class skills. So, and then have a magic weapon as my backup. So yeah, I think I can make this work. It's going to be an interesting time at the very least. Thank you very much for watching.